that one, you can't sleep black, you can't sleep white and talk black, if you will. And that's always been in the American struggle, African-American struggle with ourselves.
Yes, sir.
The other thing is that we struggle with our own psychology about self-love and otherwise. And if we get our arms around that, that does make sense.
Okay. But you would have to say that you know 190 million people.
But you're being too
one second.
You would have to claim that.
Individuals don't matter.
You'd have to claim
No,
that.
go ahead and respond. Go ahead.
And I agree with my brother's
Scott.
comments. Brother Scott. He brought up the Civil Rights Bill. But what he did not talk about in relation to the Civil Rights Bill is there were two words included in that bill that ultimately served to take away from black people what that bill was intended to deliver. They added gender and they added sexual orientation. And as a result of that, white women and homosexuals have been able to strip black America from the intended gains of the Civil Rights Act. So there was still racism in that bill if you will study that history.
So, Umar, your question was, has anyone black ever systematically done, has anyone white ever systematically done anything?
Systematically. White America.
So LBJ would be the answer for that,
No,
because that's the government.
No, I don't think you heard the question.
That's a systematic move.
No, you didn't hear the question.
No,
you did not. No, you didn't. You're so quick to defend white folks that you're not listening.
No, I'm not trying to defend white folks.
I literally have 45 seconds, so restate the question and give an answer.
Okay.
Got 45 seconds.
Let's get an answer.
The question was, what has white America done?
Right.
Not individuals. Systematically, you won't even let me finish.
Yeah, because
you're that in love with white folks, you won't even let me finish.
Finish literally 20 seconds.
There is no bigger system than the
20 seconds, I'll finish.
Go.
And in 20 seconds, I would say that the panel that you have here, who are extremely intelligent, do not represent the everyday black man and woman struggles, and then because of that, they can articulate.
And you represent 43 million people in this country? I don't think so.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Weekdays on
For Culturama 51, National Bank wants you to swipe more, win more, and experience more. When you use your National Bank Visa credit or debit card this summer, you're swiping your way to VIP tickets, a celebrity makeover, and liming cash for Culturama 51. From June 18th to July 28th, every swipe over $100 gets you a chance to win a VIP Culturama experience. Pick your event, get a glam makeover, skip the lines, and lounge like a star. Or grab $500 in liming cash and splurge to the max. Draws take place live at the National Bank Group Soca Monarch semifinals on July 19th and the official opening of Culturama on July 24th. 2 big nights, 4 big winners. Only with National Bank, your premier platinum sponsor for Culturama 51.
Frigate Bay is now the new Amory Bakery destination. Starting Sunday, July 13th, our Victoria Road location will be closed on Sundays and holidays. But your favorite breads and pastries are just a short drive away with lots of parking. Join us at the new Amory Bakery and Cafe in Frigate Bay. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Sunday with more baked options, grab-and-go delicious hot lunches, sandwiches, freshly brewed coffee, and made-to-order fresh squeezed fruit juices. All in a beautiful, relaxing cafe atmosphere the entire family will enjoy. Amory Bakery, quality you can taste, a name you can trust. Call 465-2132 or 665-8005.
Y'all ready for this? St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetGauge Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want. Anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because BetGauge Sports is bringing the heat. The heat is on. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play. The heat is on.
Go Delta, go Delta. Reliable, go Delta, dependable, go Delta, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's
there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Back to school shouldn't meet you unprepared. St. Kitts Credit Union's Back to School loan helps you borrow up to $10,000 with flexible repayment plans, fast approval, supportive terms. Invest in your child's future with confidence, because every child deserves a strong start. Start today at www.skccu.com or call 465-2272. SKCU, invested in their future with you.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom Apper today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon in St. Kitts and Nevis. Not that I say it every time that I come here, but I am telling you today, it's a magnificent Caribbean day. The sky is blue, the typical blue Caribbean sky. And I can tell you out there is hot, but there is that cross breeze that I always speak about, coming from the Atlantic Ocean, meeting with the breeze from the Caribbean Sea. It is just a magnificent place to be in St. Kitts, Sugar City. Now, you are listening to Freedom FM 106.5, and we claim and we say and we know that we are world-class radio at its best. This is Issues with your host, Coach Adrian, and it's great to have you on my show. As usual, I ask you to allow me to reach out before I introduce the day's topic. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. Today is a kind of a new day for us, that is for issues. We have actually rescheduled issues from Thursday to Monday. So today begins a new day for us. You tell your friends, those who are not listening, that Issues is now on Monday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Now, why have we done that? Because we were having too many interferences or stoppages. We are very sorry for any inconvenience caused if you had already scheduled yourself, and since January it had become a pattern for you to wait for the coach at 1:30 on Thursdays. But we hope that this will give us more uninterrupted time, a more uninterrupted conversation, so that when we pat on Mondays, and of course, except act of God, we don't control everything. The absolute God control everything. When we pat on Monday and we say, see you next week, we can reasonably expect that we are going to be meeting next week. Now, this is the reason, and we hope that you can reschedule your program and your activities, and please be with me on the program. Issues on Mondays from 1:40 p.m. to 3:40 p.m. Now, this afternoon, we talk about the threat of hurricanes. We are in the hurricane season. The hurricane season actually began last month in June. And because of the number of activities, St. Kitts, so many things are happening in St. Kitts, we could not have the program before June, which would have been the ideal time. But the hurricane season runs right through October. October, it's over. October is over. September, it's over. And November, remember. Huh? That's what we used to say at school. Just to remember. September, it's over. September is remember. October is over. What is November? Okay. Remember. Okay. And we want to talk a little about our preparedness for the hurricane season. And why I have taken a somber tone is because the Eastern Caribbean is considered a high-risk zone. The Eastern Caribbean is considered a high-risk zone for a number of reasons. One, because of its location. It is located in the hurricane belt. And that's one reason why property insurance premiums are so high. And I suppose when our insurance expert join us later on during the program, we will raise that issue. It's a high-risk zone also because of seismic activity. We are prone to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. And of course, the impact of climate change. So all of these developments they make our areas very vulnerable to natural disaster. Now, when we speak of the Eastern Caribbean, sometimes the literature uses the term Lesser Antilles. Now, we are really including a group or even a diverse group of islands or countries. The main island nations, of course, include Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, or St. Christopher and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These are the independent nations. Now, the other notable islands are Guadeloupe, Montserrat, whatever is left of Montserrat, the British Virgin Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, several hurricanes have caused extensive damage in the Eastern Caribbean. St. Kitts have been very fortunate, at least from the time I've been here from 1991. St. Kitts have not been hit in the kind of ways that other islands have been hit. I remember we got hit very severely in 1980 in St. Lucia. And when I was at school in Barbados and in Jamaica, we were hit very hard. Now, Hurricane Ivan, I'm sure Grenada is not going to forget Hurricane Ivan. In fact, I bought a book from a friend he called the book Ivan the Terrible. Ivan, he discussed or described in that book the devastation, the venom of Hurricane Ivan, which left almost 90% of the housing stock damaged in Grenada and literally destroy Grenada's production, distribution, and consumption, the economy. Last year, 2024, Beryl destroyed about 60% of Grenada's carrier coup. Dominica, of course, I know will remember Maria. Category 5 hurricane on September 18th, it was, yes, 2017. She'll cause widespread destruction in Dominica. And I think that's one of the reasons why that we don't get our sweet oranges from Dominica, because I remember before Maria, we used to get those sweet navel oranges coming from Dominica every Monday. And I would make sure I get myself to the farmer's market and I buy a lot of that. Now, you can't get that. You cannot get that because Maria literally devastated the forests, the canopy, and the landscape. And in fact, I was speaking to some vendors actually, vendors who traffic food from the Windward Islands to St. Lucia and to St. Kitts, and they explained to me that since Maria, the devastation of Maria, they are actually getting foods to supplement from St. Lucia. I didn't know that, but St. Lucia have been hit so many times. In fact, the agriculture in St. Lucia has been decimated. But of course, there's a lot of commercial agriculture where certain people go into bananas and so on, so at very high level. But then the import and export person told me that they get the yams, the dashing, and so on, so from St. Lucia. I must try to get some yams and whatever. So in St. Kitts, Hurricane Georges hit St. Kitts on September 21. I think that's 1998. Now, I was told that not that it was a Category 5, but the center of the hurricane passed directly over St. Kitts, and therefore it caused a lot of destruction. It was devastating because, in fact, relative to all the countries who were hit by Hurricane Georges, it is estimated that St. Kitts the damage was more extensive. Now, I have said all that by way of introduction, just to make you know that we are not discussing the threat of hurricane because we are prophets of doom, but because we are discussing the possibility of a reality. It's a reality, and we have to be prepared for that. Now, I am going to have two experts in studio with me, and I'm very happy because I'm not an expert in that. And I have the right one. I have an expert from NEMA. I love that. I have an expert from NEMA, and later on I have an expert from the insurance industry who is going to join us. Now, Bradshaw, welcome, man. Welcome. Say hello to the people.
Yes, the mic is on. Yes, good day, everyone. Glad to be here as usual. I really appreciate the invitation from Mr. Peter Adrian. Coach, yes. So hopefully we have a very fruitful discussion today, and we share whatever information we can on behalf of NEMA and the agency.
I'm very happy to have you, man. And not only that, man, you look like the picture of your father, man.
I appreciate
I know your father, you know, man.
Yes,
I know your father, man. Look, the genes is strong, man. If he had ever say you not his child, he's a dead man. Now, every person who comes on my show, Bradshaw, I give them a gift.
All right, appreciate it.
And I think the greatest investment in any person is health. That is key. You could have the best portfolio in investment. You could have the greatest asset. You can have the best bank account. Man, if you are working and you don't have good health, it's a joke you're making because you can't enjoy the fruit of your labor. Now, this is one of the books that is quite a million seller, and people love it. It's called Health and Happiness. It's yours.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Good one,
Yeah.
good one.
Right.
Okay. Now, Bradshaw, let's talk. But let's first talk about Bradshaw. Who's Bradshaw? Tell the people who's Bradshaw.
Okay, in a nutshell, I'm currently the Deputy National Disaster Coordinator at
Give them your
NEMA.
full name.
I'm Julian Bradshaw. Yes, I'm the Deputy National Disaster Coordinator at NEMA.
Now, tell me something, because sometimes the people hear NEMA. What exactly that mean?
Okay, NEMA is a National Emergency Management Agency, and that's federal agency that is responsible for any sort of disaster. We basically coordinate, manage to mitigate any threat to lives and
so you all are supposed to protect us.
Basically,
that's
yes.
your job. So you are in a very important job. Your job is to protect the country.
Yes.
Now that is serious, you know. You understand how serious that is.
It is very,
It
very
means
important.
that you have to be alert.
Yes.
You have to be serious. And the job that you have, you must love it. Now, if you don't love it, you have to leave it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now, you get what I'm saying? Because you are basically have our lives in your hand. And man, a man so young have our life in our hand, man. This is beautiful. So what NEMA does?
Okay, what NEMA tends to do is coordinate response for major disasters. So when it comes to, we make sure that different agencies, organizations, plan in the event for, so we assist them with any sort of disaster planning. So, if there is they want to implement a disaster plan to protect their institution, we kind of assist them with that and so forth. We also conduct several training programs, to make persons, get persons more abreast of preparing for disasters, So we conduct training sessions for that. We also make sure that we disseminate information to the public. So anything around disasters, anything around preparedness, anything around mitigation, we try and ensure that the public knows about that.
Any information, for example, like if the students or if a home, a school, a person, a researcher, they want information with respect to disaster management and whatever, they can come to NEMA.
Yes.
So you have a library there and whatever?
Yeah, we have documentation, we have experts, we have human capital, we have the human aspect of it.
So the people can come with their pen drive and you all can download materials for them and things like that?
Well, maybe not necessarily download, but we could share pamphlet, leaflets and so forth with them.
Hard copies?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And do you all have regular tours? People come and see you all. We have regular tours.
Periodically, yes, we do get some visits. We do get some calls as well. We mostly get calls, from different agencies. We call to ask for assistance when it comes to planning.
So you all go out?
Yes, we do go out.
Okay. But how do you all sensitize people? Because what do you all do? After the hurricane season is over, what do you all do?
Okay, well, NEMA is not an agency that only focuses on hurricanes, obviously,
Right. So speak to us, yes.
We are a multi-hazard agency, and we're trying to get persons to understand it's not just about hurricanes. Disasters is not just about hurricanes.
Come and tell us.
As you listed previously, disaster focuses on earthquakes, volcanic activity, climate change, which basically exacerbates droughts, coastal erosion, all those sort of things. So anything that basically impact human well-being,
that's a lot
human
of work.
life.
I mean, how large is your staff? I mean, you're talking about, and all those areas are areas of specialty. Am I correct?
Yes.
How large is your staff?
Well, right now we have.
No, I'm not pushing you.
Right now we have staffing, but with most agencies, there's always additional support that we would like to get and support, But what we try to do, we always try to keep the staff that we have abreast of what is going on, So if in the event that, we need somebody that specializes in that area or whatever, or training, basically.
But so because that you're correct, you will never have all the expertise that you have. And not only that, small islands like that cannot have all the expertise. And when I say small, I mean the Caribbean. You can't have all your expertise. Now, the campus countries will have more because they have more capacity and the opportunities for training. So you have to, in your case, you raise more. So you work with those in partnership. So even if you don't have the expertise, if it is in Barbados, you have access to it. Am I?
Yes.
Speak to us,
So generally, how the disaster mechanism function is that we have like a regional body, that's CDMA. The regional body basically liaise with us, we liaise with them.
What is that CDMA?
So CDMA is a Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management. It's in Barbados. Yeah, the headquarters is in Barbados. So they basically manages all the disaster across the Caribbean, all the disaster management agencies.
Right.
You know, so we generally have conversations with them,
they
discussion
feed to
with
you
them.
all, you all feed to them and whatever.
Yes.
Okay. And they would have their own set of feelers with the global, because the largest entity is the world. And they have the global network and whatever, North America, whatever. And then, so you don't have to spend all your resources trying to get to the outer world.
No.
Because they are your conduit.
Yes,
Huh?
correct.
That is right. How well is that working?
It's working well. Yes, as I said, we usually have general, frequent conversations with them. You know, whatever support we have. I'm only in this role like for about a year now, and I've already met both the director and the deputy director. We usually have conversations if there's like something that I have a problem with.
Flow down.
Yes, I could
What
speak to
about
them.
money? Do financial resources flow down, or can you all leverage them to get financial resources?
Well, yes, we can. We could always ask for we could always ask for resources when it comes to finances, but generally finances locally generally comes from the government, you know. And then if there is like
but
an
there's
international,
supposed to be a lot of them, but generally in the world, I mean, except what is happening in North America now, the realignment of international business. But there is generally, particularly for areas like that, there are resources out there. So you're not depending just on government.
No.
Because you're supposed to be, in a sense, be even more nimble than the government coffer.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, we have several international agencies that basically support training sessions. You know, they send resources, they send technological devices and so forth. You know, so we basically collaborate with both international agencies, regional agencies,
now,
and
you
local
notice
as
we
well.
ain't talk about hurricane yet, but it's okay.
Yes.
What you're doing there is good. We're trying to make sure that, look, we are trying to make sure that we are interfacing with the people. So the fact that you come here, another opportunity for the people to know you, to love you. Am I correct?
Yes.
And for you to get to know them. Now they're going to call. They're going to call and they're going to ask you questions. But let me ask you, a young man like you, man, you look so educated, you look so sharp and whatever. Why is there you? Why didn't you go and get the big money, man, go into law and this and that? And why did you go there?
Well,
Your mother pushed you there?
No. Honestly, I was in education before I went into disaster management. I basically grew a love and a passion for geography.
Very
you know,
nice.
so
Very
I
nice.
tend to study the environment. You know, look at how persons interact with the environment. You know, how we change the environment to suit our needs and so forth, and how that in turn affect us and so forth. You know, so basically with that kind of passion and drive, the opportunity basically presented itself, and I basically just took it. You know.
Very good.
Yes.
How do you see your vision? How do you see yourself within that career?
Well, I mean,
down the road.
Yes, it's very taxing. You know, as you said, it's a huge responsibility. You know, it's a large responsibility. So the idea is to try and say how best I could work with the public. You know, work with not only just like the public, but persons who are in authority, and basically try and build my skill set to basically meet the needs of the general public.
Know, unlike even those areas that I mentioned that people run to law, medicine, so on. So you know your area, that area is a big, huge ticket area in the world.
Yes.
If you train yourself and you become an expert in a particular field, let me tell you, St. Kitts can keep you. Because all international agencies, all kind of geography, you can make big money and give big service. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I mean the buzzword right now is climate change,
very nice,
climate mitigation, you know, climate adaptation, those kind of sort of stuff. So anything around that line, is a possibility that you could basically go outside of the nation or whatever the case may
so
be.
In a sense that depend on your vision, depends on your dream, you could actually choose an area of expertise for you based on a market demand and train yourself. And that it's nothing wrong that if you have given great service here, that giving service to the region and to the world is as much as giving service to St. Kitts. Am I right? Okay, so much now. We have said so much. Now we're going back to Hurricane now. We are on issues on Freedom FM 106.5 with Coach Adrian, and we are talking about hurricane preparedness. We are talking about dealing with the threat of hurricane. We have NEMA's representative with us, the Deputy Director, Mr. Bradshaw, and a very young man. He's excited, and we are just filling out what NEMA does and what NEMA represents. And now we want to speak about hurricane, because we are in the hurricane season. What does NEMA, what's your program like, say, the months leading to the hurricane season?
Okay, generally what happens is that leading up to the hurricane season, we basically try and start to sensitize the public as much as possible, get them aware of, the hurricane season is coming up, get prepared. Primarily, we try to tell them to get your personal or your in-home emergency kit organized. In your emergency kit, you need to include specific things, so non-perishable goods, medicine if you have like a sickly person or whatever the case might be, secure your home, definitely. Secure any sort of property that you might have.
But let's talk about the kit that you mentioned. Now we are in the kit because we are talking about the months before the hurricane. So we're not talking about stocking food yet. We're talking about kit. What is in that kit? So you're saying every home or every little household should have a kit, no matter how big or small.
Yes,
tell us what
it is
in
important.
that kit. Yes.
It's important to have in your kit. You make sure you have emergency supplies. So as I said, if there's medicine, if you have like a sickly person, an elderly person that needs medication, even a child that needs medication, make sure you have those emergency supplies inside that kit. You also want to make sure you have a plan in there. So let's say you have to evacuate, you have that plan inside your kit, so you know if you have to run this place or whatever the case might be, that plan is inside the kit.
Just going back to the kit. So you're going to keep things like plasters.
Yes.
Things like if you have a headache, your Tylenol, your this and that.
If you are hypertensive, so you have your high blood pressure medication.
I suppose even if you're not high blood, your supplements and things like that.
Yes.
I suppose things like scissors and whatever, if you have to cut, if you have to bandage and things like that. Am I correct?
Yes.
So a kind of typical first aid kit.
Yes, basically a general first aid kit.
And which is what a home should have. Outside of hurricane or not, you encourage people to have a first aid kit. Now, they may not call it a kit, but like some people really have a kit. It's a kit and it is labeled. And it has the red cross.
Yes.
I have seen it in some homes. Now, some people may not have it so elaborate, but they have the different things. Okay. Now, as you get nearer to June now, say May, June, how does the advisory change?
Well, we always tend to tell persons to be ready and get ready in case we have an impact. It's not like we don't like persons to be, well, in a sense, I feel like for me, I feel like we've become a little relaxed because we've not really been impacted extremely recently, so I feel like we're a little relaxed. So we tend to tell persons to stay abreast of the weather conditions, stay abreast of whatever advisory that we might put out, the Met Office might put out, keep up to date with what is going on around the Caribbean, around the surrounding areas.
But how do you all deal with the fact that you all are not the only one giving advisory? Because advisory, particularly in the internet economy society,
yes.
advisory out there, some of them get advisory before you give them.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
And some of them get advisories that perhaps at any time do they contradict with yours? Or
yes,
not
sometimes.
At the same level?
Yes, sometimes. But what we tend to tell the public is to always focus on trusted local advisory. So that's basically the National Emergency Management Agency, the local radio stations such as Freedom, ZIZ, Von Radio in Nevis, stay up to date with what is going on in terms of locally. Because, the international or the regional is not going to be specific to St. Kitts. It's going to be more general. So you want to keep up to date with the local trusted sources.
Yeah, but how are you going to deal with that? I mean, when the hurricane tracking comes bam out of North America, and it hits you so many days before, and it may not necessarily say St. Kitts, but it shows you a belt. It shows you the belt, and that happens in advance of you all. What do you do with that now? If you tell them to wait for local, suppose you're asking them to ignore that, don't listen to that, turn their TV off.
No, we get our advisory from Antigua. Usually comes to Antigua to the Met office at the airport, with the Met offices, and they would advise us. So that's like the trusted source.
Yes.
So so they're gonna be cognizant of all of the advisories, and once they feed us that information, we know that's the credible information, and then that is what we will put out. So that is why we encourage persons to take note of and follow.
Yeah, but I agree, but they will be taking note and follow the voice. In other words, the voice advisory. But they see on the screen of the TV, they see the visual advisory from the TV. So that the voice advisory has to be at the same nimbleness, it has to be at the same time sharpness, and it has to be in sync. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because if not, what takes precedent is what we see. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, generally we get our updates very frequent. The updates is not like 2 days after, 3 days after, whatever the case might be. The updates are very frequent.
That is
currently, we get daily updates. So every day, if you follow our pages and so forth, you see a daily update. And that is basically put out from the Met office, and that is what basically guide our decision and planning process. Okay. So these are given daily. And it's not once per day. It's like several times
now
per day.
For people who don't have access to their page, who don't go on page, they're not that internet savvy. How do they get the information from you all?
Well, we have multiple sources. We have multiple online media platforms as well. Not only that, these information that we get, we share it to the local radio stations as well. So if they don't follow us per se, they still can get it from like ZIZ, they still can get it from Freedom, they still can get it from different outlets. So it's not just like it's only us alone sharing that information that is shared across the different media houses in St. Kitts.
Okay. You are listening to Issues on Freedom FM 106.5. We are going to take a break for advertisement, and then we come back with our discussion with Nima. We are expecting one person from the insurance industry to join us shortly.
For Culturama 51, National Bank wants you to swipe more, win more, and experience more. When you use your National Bank Visa credit or debit card this summer, you're swiping your way to VIP tickets, a celebrity makeover, and liming cash for Culturama 51. From June 18th to July 28th, every swipe over $100 gets you a chance to win a VIP Culturama experience. Pick your event, get a glam makeover, skip the line, and lounge like a star. Or grab $500 in liming cash and splurge to the max. Draws take place live at the National Bank Group Soca Monarch semifinals on July 19th and the official opening of Culturama on July 24th. 2 big nights, 4 big winners. Only with National Bank, your premier platinum sponsor for Culturama 51.
Frigate Bay is now the new Amory Bakery destination. Starting Sunday, July 13th, our Victoria Road location will be closed on Sundays and holidays. But your favorite breads and pastries are just a short drive away with lots of parking. Join us at the new Amory Bakery and Cafe in Frigate Bay. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Sunday with more baked options, grab-and-go delicious hot lunches, sandwiches, freshly brewed coffee, and made-to-order fresh squeezed fruit juices. All in a beautiful, relaxing cafe atmosphere the entire family will enjoy. Amory Bakery, quality you can taste, a name you can trust. Call 465-2132 or 665-8005.
Y'all ready for this? St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetCage Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want. Anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because BetCage Sports is bringing the heat. The heat is on. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play. The heat is on. Go Delta, go Delta. Reliable, go Delta, dependable, go Delta, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and you tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Back to school shouldn't meet you unprepared. St. Kitts Credit Union's Back to School loan helps you borrow up to $10,000 with flexible repayment plans, fast approval, supportive terms. Invest in your child's future with confidence, because every child deserves a strong start. Start today at www.skccu.com or call 465-2272. SKCU, invested in their future with you.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
Yes, we are back on issues. We are talking about hurricane preparedness. We are talking about mitigating risk. We are talking about managing ourselves, making sure that we protect ourselves and our property in the event of a hurricane. We have with us Mr. Bradshaw, the Deputy Director of NEMA, and we are talking about what to do in preparation for a hurricane, and we are going to talk about what to do during a hurricane. Now, I am going to open the lines. I'm going to open the lines because I didn't realize that our time is fast going, and it is right now 2:18 in the PM in Sugar City. So it's ready. The time is going quickly. So we are opening the line. We want to hear from you. We want to get your suggestions. We want you to ask questions to the NEMA representative. Later on, we are going to have with us, hopefully by 2:30, somebody from the insurance industry. The number to call is 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Now, Mr. Bradshaw, what is the forecast? What is the forecast? I mean, what is the forecast? What the number of hurricanes or storms are we expecting, and how severe are they likely to be?
Okay, generally, the forecast that is presented to us this year is said to be very sporadic and erratic. Okay, so that generally means that things could happen fast and it could change with the wink of an eye, you know. So we are forecasting to get a range of 13 to 19 total named storms, okay, and that's going to be with winds 39 miles per hour or higher. Of those, 6 to 10 are said to become hurricanes, okay, and that's going to be, of course, 74 miles per hour or higher. From that 6 to 10, 3 to 5 of them would become major storms or major hurricanes, and that's going to be with winds.
How many of them likely to hit us?
None.
Now you know I'm putting you because you can't tell that. You can't tell that.
I'm just gonna put it out there. None is going to hit us. You know? None is going to hit us. Yes.
An optimistic view.
Yes.
But then the thing is, when we are preparing, we have to prepare on the pessimistic.
Yes, we have to keep it in mind that anything could happen. You know.
That the worst case may happen,
anything
and
could happen.
that's how you kind of mitigate. You plan for this thing,
yes.
And when it does not happen, we are happy.
Yes.
But then, if it were to happen, you want to make sure that you're
prepared. Yes.
That you minimize the impact, because if 3 major hurricanes hit us, if one, we finish, of course, isn't it?
Yes. Generally, as I said earlier, I feel like we have become a little relaxed, you know, so we feel like, I don't want to say we feel like we are superhumans or whatever the case may be, but I feel like we're a little relaxed,
maybe they trust in God.
Yes, we are praying society, you know, so we always do pray and ask for protection.
Now, it's a good thing you say that, you know. You I don't know if you did any work on Ivan in Grenada, Ivan the Terrible. Grenada had not been hit for scores of years, to the extent that because at that time I was very close to the insurance industry. At the central bank, I was the person who oversees the insurance industry, and the things were so optimistic that property insurers were not even buying sufficient reinsurance coverage. So when Ivan hit them, you know what happened? They were caught unprepared. So not only that the hurricane devastated the whole island, but it hit them in a situation where they had literally made very little preparation to cushion that effect. Are you saying that we are going into that kind of mode?
I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that, but key to what you're saying is that one thing that we always stress as well, just before the hurricane season and so forth, or even before any disaster, is to ensure that whatever insurance policies that you have, ensure that these are up to date. You know, you don't want a situation where we do get impacted and then hurricane insurance or whatever your property insurance is not up to date because you won't be covered, So that is one of
insurance, where the federal company will explain. Hurricane insurance or property insurance, so to speak, it's really a 1-year contract.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's a 1-year contract, and therefore, at the end of the year, you don't have coverage. It's not like a life insurance. A life insurance may have staggering period, but after the due date or the insurance coverage date, you don't. If it, let's say the coverage date is today the 14th, tomorrow you don't have, or at midnight you don't have. So in a sense, it is important that you are continually do that.
Yes.
Not just for the do it continually, because whether a hurricane or not, your property is only covered for 1 year. I think that is very, very important.
Some persons, I mean, honestly speaking, some persons are just let it lapse, as in don't cover, don't let it don't pay for it. But in our context, a lot of times, once you have a mortgage or something like that, it's kind of sometimes automatic, So that's basically the advantage of having those kind of things in place,
Well, yes, that is right, because the financier, whether it is the bank or the credit union or the financial institution, to protect their interest, they would ensure that you buy property insurance. And not only that, they make you buy 2 kinds of insurance.
Yes, life
they already make you cover property. They make you cover yourself.
Yes.
You are the one paying them. But at the same time, although I should not go into that, they also take your salary. Your salary go to them. So your salary go to them. They make sure that you have enough health to bring the salary. You cover yourself. And why you cover the life insurance? That's important, If you notice, the life insurance that you will buy has to be sufficient in face value that it covers the mortgage.
Correct.
Huh? So that's important. So that is why I thought in our discussion here, it would be nice also to have an insurer with us, because you speak on the risk itself, but they would speak on the business side of that risk. So we are hoping, therefore, that the 3 to 5 major hurricanes, one, do not take place, that they do not develop to be so. That is the 14 to the 19. And we are hoping that if they do, even if we are in the direct hurricane zone, remember we are in the direct hurricane zone, and that it does not hit us or devastate the country. But notwithstanding, we have to be prepared. But let's talk about the insurance, the preparation when there is an actual insurance. Sorry, a hurricane that is passing over St. Kitts. What are you going to do? Tell us what you all do.
Okay, usually when there's an actual hurricane, we're basically in disaster mode, if you could call it that, So what we do is there's this group of people that basically meets together to plan and to basically implement what was planned, So we have, I guess I could call it an agency, as I say, a group of people that we meet in the National Emergency Operations Center, that's in New York. And there is where we basically manage the disaster. So let's say, for instance, the storm is passing and we get a call from you to say, you're trapped somewhere, or whatever the case might be. We basically operate from there to make sure that you get to safety and so forth.
Yeah, but how do you do that? I mean,
we coordinate from there. So
let's look at
in the New York, there are different chairs or different person that is responsible for different things. So you have someone that might be responsible for housing and shelter, someone that's responsible for search and rescue, someone that's responsible for utilities, someone that's responsible for tourism per se, because we have a lot of tourism, so somebody
yes.
that's responsible for foreign assistance. So we have all of these are called subcommittees.
Yes.
So these subcommittees, 10 of them basically meet in the National Emergency Operations Center, and that is where we coordinate response from. So as I said, during the disaster, we meet there, we sit there throughout the disaster, and anything happens.
But of course, a lot depends on how much infrastructure that you have in place and how much facility you have. For example, if there is, say, an area that is being affected by heavy flooding. Now, if you have the knowledge, but if you don't have the manpower or the machinery to do that, what happens? I mean, when we look at TV, we look at the bigger countries like America and so on, whatever. You see the speed at which those rescue efforts can be expedited because they have so much resources and they have in other words, they have been able logistically to locate their things in such a way and to call up. Now, small island like us, how do we handle that?
Okay, so what happened is, even though we are located there at the National Emergency New York, we have different groups across the island that we basically liaise with them as well.
I understand.
So we could, like, as I say, you, for example, let's say you're located in Frigate Bay or whatever the case might be, and you want help over there or whatever, we could liaise with the agency or the group of persons that is responsible for that area, and they could coordinate the rescue of you, take you to maybe a center or a shelter that is basically open.
Yeah. But the point I agree with that, but the point that I was saying, this is the concept, the function is good, there's oil. But we are talking about how you prosecute the function. If it requires you need so many trucks, you need helicopters, and so on and so forth.
All of that mechanism is in place already, so it's there. So we know. So in the event, we basically could just make a call and it's executed.
What about if you have an island-wide extensive damage? How do you deal with that?
If it's island-wide, it's gonna take more, of course. It's island-wide. But it's a coordinated effort. So all of the agencies going to work together to ensure that island-wide we basically ensure that everyone is safe.
Is how much resources that you have. Say, for example, if roads are blocked, and in St. Kitts it's easy because of the nature of the topsoil is such that if you have a lot of rain, that is why, the sugar cane there, in some of the sugarcane areas, the tops are kept because if you clean some of those things there, heavy rain will cause mass erosion.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, you can have blockages. Now, if people are trapped, you're talking about hauling them out by air or this or that or whatever. Now, if you have just one or two areas like that, you can marshal your resources. How many helicopters do you have access to?
I guess I could say this was one of the conversations that we basically was discussing recently, because we recognize from, as I say, we liaise with basically regional agencies and so forth. And what we recognized was that one of their mishap that they had, I think it was when we had Berry last year in Grenada.
Yes, Berry in Carriacou.
Yes, Carriacou, correct. Their plans and so forth that they had in place was basically just for like overland. Exactly. But they didn't consider like Carriacou, Petit Martinique. Yes, they didn't consider that.
Yes.
So they had to get, like, as I say, helicopters to transport persons over and so forth.
That's right. And where was the helicopter coming from? Was it coming from Grenada or from Barbados or?
Correct. So what happened is you have the RSS, the same CDMA mechanism. They basically liaise with them to provide support for like air transport to basically go and
as you said that, I don't want to stop you, but during that, in cases like that, our defense force becomes active agents now.
Yes, they are actually a part of the NIAC as well. So that's why I'm telling you, like, they are part of the search and rescue in the NIAC. So as I said, if needs be, they could basically activate and
so which means, therefore, if we have, unless God spare us and cause a shield around us, if we have multiple island, extensive damage, we're in trouble. We are in trouble.
Well, that was.
It's going to take a long time. Come on, talk to us.
Yes, that was one of the discussion that we basically had to there recently. We had a guest presenter from Grenada, and she basically outlined that in the event of multiple islands being hit, we basically have to have things in place so that we could basically come up with our response, our needs, our what plans we have. We have to basically push those so that whatever regional resources could basically
so before
come
they can
first.
be mobilized, so you can be doing something on ground first.
Yes.
Because at that time, while you're waiting for mobilization, people are dying.
Yes.
Now, not that you are the one who caused their death, but the thing is that, in a sense, everybody is responding to the same hazard
crisis.
now. And so, Barbados, if it's extensive, they get hit. St. Lucia, they get extensive, they get hit at the same time. Say St. Vincent get hit. Dominica always getting hit. Dominica get hit. But how do you do it? So there was a time, of course, where we depended tremendously on U.S. support. That has been cut off now. I don't know. I'm sure, as far as I read from CARICOM, the environmental and a lot of the environmental and security protocols still stand and whatever. But of course, a lot of resources are being removed from this thing, particularly USAID and all allied agencies and so on. What is that? What is that?
Yes,
well,
well,
in terms of for you all?
In terms of those agencies, the USAID and the American support, for lack of better terms, they are slowly coming back on stream now. But when that happened, it's like other opportunities basically presented itself. So we got more support from like the European Union, and we got more support from other entities, other foreign
but you
government,
have but proximity. A lot of those the logistics thing we're talking about, the closest proximity is more beneficial to you. Okay, I mean the U.S. Caribbean proximity and whatever. So whatever that you get outside of that, you would have had to mobilize. In other words, if you are getting support from, say, China, Taiwan, whatever it is, you would have to make sure that whatever resources or whatever equipment or support mechanism, whatever,
is already here.
Is already here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to get to that. So what happened is, in the whole disaster response mechanism, there are places where things are stored in the Caribbean. So in the event, it's not like we have to go to China for it or we have to go to USA for it. It's actually already in the Caribbean. So it's like
Can you
just
give us examples of that?
In Barbados,
take your time and give us examples.
In Antigua,
that will give the people confidence.
There's a warehouse that's located in Antigua that basically feeds the OECS islands.
What is in this warehouse?
Supplies, resources, resource materials and so forth, I can't tell you exactly what, I can't say ABCs in there, but, but there are resources inside these warehouses that in the event of a disaster, we could also always tap into those sources. So we have it locally, regionally and internationally.
What about air transport? Say helicopters. I mean,
I'm not sure about the.
People are trapped all over. How many? How fast these things would come?
Yeah, I'm not sure about like the speed it will come and get here, but we always have a working relationship with agencies such as the RSS. They have access to those kind of things, and in the event.
What about marine? What about a problem at sea? How fast? Because I mean, sometimes we hear the Coast Guard say they don't have equipment, they don't have sufficient and whatever. Now, in cases of emergency, that becomes more of a need now. What happens? You have to, let us say nothing happens to Grenada or Dominica or you can call on them quickly.
You could call on them, yeah. And as I said, remember, it's not like we are not independent of the region. There's the CDMA, which is basically the governing body. Everything basically is linked to them. So in the event St. Kitts is impacted and we need let's say a boat or a helicopter or whatever the case might be, we have the regional mechanism that's in place to assist us accordingly. You know, so it's not like, as I say, we're not independent from any and anybody. You know, we have a very good working relationship with the different entities across the region. You know, all the Coast Guard agencies linked together. You know, all of the disaster management units linked together. You know, so we regularly have meetings with all of the agencies across the region, you know, all of the disaster management.
But when you all have those meetings, or you all need to communicate this thing to the public. When I say when you communicate, to the
sometimes,
meaning that what you're doing here is you're giving people confidence. It's confidence. It's not so much about just telling them the information. In other words, letting them feel that look, things are not just going haywire. There are things in place for your safety.
For them, yes.
Talk to me.
Yeah, so we generally have these meetings regularly, you know. We have these meetings, and we tend to discuss. We tend to discuss everything in the region that deals with disaster management, you know, because we want to liaise with. We want to make sure that everyone has knowledge and understanding of the general mechanism of disaster management. You know, so as I said, it is a working progress, and we have these conversations regularly. So if I need support from St. Lucia, if I need support from Barbados, if I need support from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we always liaise with each other to actually give them support.
So basically, we are hoping that the relationship among those countries, and by countries, because relationship is not from between mass of land. Relationship is between people.
Correct.
That is relationship between heads of government.
Yes, heads of agencies.
Between, even before you read the ministers that are over those Ministry of Environment or whatever. Relationship between the administrators, the PSCs of that, the NEMA managers, the NEMA directors. In other words, we're talking about people management now. Because when this relationship is in place, in emergency, they move fluently.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you an example. Like, for instance, last year when Beryl had impacted us, we basically took some of our supplies here from St. Kitts and actually sent them to St. Vincent, you know. So we have that kind of working relationship, you know. We have that kind of working relationship.
Very nice. Now, we are listening to Freedom FM 106.5, and the time is going very quickly. I don't know why the time flies like this. It flies. It's 2:41, and we are talking about dealing with the threat of hurricane. And we have an expert who have just entered our studio, Mr. Thompson, from Oasis Insurance. Pass over the mic to you. Welcome to the program, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Peter, for having me.
Just introduce yourself to the people.
Okay.
Tell them who you are.
My name is Carl Thompson. I am Managing Director of Oasis Prime Insurance Brokers Limited. We are one of two that I am aware of active insurance brokerage companies operating on St. Kitts Nevis.
Okay, don't go further more. Before you go any further, everyone who comes to our show, we give them a gift. The gift is a gift of health, because our philosophy is simply that freedom. You can have all your money. You can have all your portfolio. You can have all your assets. If you don't have health, you can't enjoy the fruit of your labor.
Absolutely correct.
This is $1 million seller, but we buy that and we give it free. You can have it. That's yours.
Thank you, Peter. Excellent gift.
Now, we have been speaking to Mr. Bradshaw from NEMA, but since you come in, we don't have much time. Let us talk with you one time. What insurance has to do with hurricane?
Everything.
Talk to us about that.
Since we are focusing on hurricane, given that we've already embarked on the traditional hurricane season that runs 1st June to 30th November every year. Hurricanes quite often are devastating events. And without insurance, your life can be devastated by a hurricane.
So stay there. So you are saying that even in hurricane, the insurance make money out of us. That's what you are saying? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I won't say that the insurance makes money out of you in a hurricane.
What is it that they do? So they are happy for hurricanes, therefore? Is it that?
Absolutely not. No insurance company wants
they're not happy
to
with you?
experience a hurricane. No insurance company wants
Why?
that. Because it means paying
Why?
out money.
Okay, come on. Explain to us. Explain to us.
Okay.
So, what does the insurance do so as to mitigate against the devastation of a hurricane? Where does the insurance come in?
Well, insurance companies are there to come to the aid of insured persons in the event that there is a happening, whether it be a hurricane or any other peril. And so once you have insurance and there is a happening, and you go to your insurance company is supposed to be looking at, is this a claim with legitimacy that we would have to pay? And then how do we manage the settlement of that claim so that the client is happy and the insurance company is happy?
Okay, so hold on there. So we're really talking about, so hurricane, we're really talking about property insurance, eh? Am I correct?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah, because property insurance.
Yes.
Property insurance. So that you have your house or your car. Let's take your house. So you need to protect your house. So you buy insurance.
Yes.
So what kind of insurance that you buy? Why do you buy that insurance? What kind of insurance that you buy? Because you buy insurance for hurricane, you buy insurance for earthquake and whatever. So how do you advise people? Because we don't know when a hurricane is coming. A hurricane may never come. So how do you advise people on that?
While it is true that the hurricane may never come, there is no certainty that it will not come.
That is correct.
So you want to protect yourself against the eventuality that it does come.
Probability of occurrence. The probability
yes.
is more than zero.
It's more, absolutely.
It's more than zero. Now, let me tell you something. Let's stay on that a little bit. How do you arrive at a price? Because, you don't know, look, basically you're working for a table that you really don't know. It may happen, it may not happen and whatever, so you assign a formula, a number to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the number that you assign, it can go up, it can go down and whatever. And sometimes it doesn't go up or down, it doesn't happen. When it does not happen, so how are you so sure? For example, in property, that if you ask the person $1,000 premium, how do you know this is right?
Okay.
You get my drift?
Insurance premiums are determined by a number of variables.
Come and talk to us.
In large measure, insurance premiums are
we're not leaving you out, but since he came late,
In large measure, they're dictated by reinsurance companies.
Tell us what you mean
that
by that.
are themselves insurance companies insuring other insurance companies. The larger insurance companies, whether it be the UK, the US.
Stop there. Give the people a language that they can understand. So you say insurance, the premium is determined by a reinsurance company. What is that? What is reinsurance company?
Okay, when you buy a policy of insurance from your local insurance company.
Yes, whether it's
and we're focusing now. For the most part on property. It's not exclusive to property, but for the most part on property because of the significantly greater values.
Yes.
The local insurance company cannot carry the weight of all of the policies, the full slate of aggregates that it has.
That's right.
So if you have $500 million in aggregates at risk,
Okay,
you
stop there, because you're using big words that my people don't understand. But so let me.
I'm using a realistic
Yeah,
figure.
but let's break it down. So you basically are saying that if there are 10 houses, say at Frigate Bay, and each of these houses is about 2 million, so that is 10 times 2 million. Am I correct? So
yes.
that one insurance does not collect enough premium for if there is a loss for them to cover that.
Yes.
So they what? So they go to an other
they must
insurance,
go to a bigger insurance company,
which is called what?
A reinsurance. So essentially,
that's right.
They are reinsuring what they've already insured.
Very nice.
That's essentially what they're doing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that is great.
So they're passing on some of the risk that they have to another insurance company that has bigger capacities than they do.
So it means that when Bradshaw came to you, he had finished his house, and you gave him a premium. It means, therefore, it was not simply Thompson giving him that price, but price is determined by those different layers and whatever.
Yes.
And now something that Bradshaw told me, and you all say this is a high-risk area, so the price have to be high. What's the meaning of that?
Oh, yes.
The Eastern Caribbean
the number of high-risk factors.
Yes.
The Eastern Caribbean region sits smack within the region that is affected annually by hurricanes.
That's correct.
So naturally, we've been classified as a high-risk area for wind damages.
Okay, now stop there. We don't have much time. We have 11 minutes yet now. Let's make sure we do. So we are speaking. This is Freedom FM 106.5. We are on Issues with Coach Adrian, and we are speaking about dealing with the threat of hurricane. We have in here with us from NEMA, Mr. Bradshaw, Deputy Director, and we have the owner and General Manager of Oasis Prime Insurance Broking.
Yes.
And Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, tell us exactly what does their company do, where it's located, and what do you sell? We're giving you a chance to sell your company.
All right. Insurance brokerage stands as
Where do they meet you? Where do they see you?
normally call as a middleman.
Explain that.
So there is the insurance company, and there is the person who is interested in buying insurance.
One-on-one.
Yes. But the insurance company
so
has...
the broker is a third person.
Absolutely.
A go-between.
A go-between. Simply because the insurance company has all the knowledge and all the expertise surrounding their business.
So they might bubble you. So they might fool you. They might take advantage on you.
Let's say they might not provide you with...
Be careful if they're your professional terms.
Well, let's say they might not provide you with as much information that would allow you to make an informed decision. That is where the insurance broker comes in.
You are using nice professional jargon for us. In other words, they say, we're not going to say they're going to thief us. We're not going to say they're going to swindle us. But we hired the broker, the middleman, to just like a lawyer to represent us better. Am I saying it well?
Absolutely.
Now, tell us about what you do. You're broking, where you are, and how people find you, and what you offer.
So, we're located in the Bayview Housing and Commercial Development area.
Where is that?
And that is, some people call it Limekeel, some people call it Camps. It's a development that sits directly in front of Ramsey's supermarket up in the Camps area.
Stop there. But I don't know, I told somebody you were in the Sands.
We were previously in the Sands complex until just about a year.
Let people understand you well. Well, take it from there and say we were there and explain where you were.
So we operated from the Sands complex for about 4 years. Until a year ago, we relocated from the Sands complex to the Bayview Housing and Commercial Development area. And so essentially what we do, we act on behalf of clients. We take away the headache from the client, because the truth of the matter is insurance can be a headache simply because not many people are savvy about
correct.
insurance.
That's correct. When you say savvy, I normally say it like that. Tell me if I'm saying it right. And not just insurance. Basically, in the Caribbean, no matter how many degrees that you have, and some people have more degrees than a thermometer, you know that? Some people are highly educated, you know, man. I have met people who have many degrees, you know.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, many degrees, almost like a well, of course, that's an exaggeration. But the fact is, we don't read. Am I correct?
Absolutely correct.
Look,
And especially when it comes to insurance.
And you all have to be taken to task for that. When the person comes to you, oh, you read your contract. Shut up. You yourself don't read no contract.
Well, that is
and
why,
we know that people don't read contract.
That is why we
using
exist.
the contract against us.
That is why brokers exist.
That's
because
right.
that is part of our responsibility to ensure that we are intimately knowledgeable and familiar with insurance contracts. So we act on behalf of the client.
Okay, now let's try. We have isolated Mr. Bradshaw. So let's try to bring Mr. Bradshaw in. Mr. Bradshaw, how does in your NEMA, your risk mitigation, in your task and whatever, how do you all kind of relate to the work that insurers do? Say, for example, I mean, I know that is not your prime area, but how do you, when you're advising the people, when you're educating the people, do you all ever at least make references to insurance and whatever as part of the preparedness?
Yes,
Tell us what you
Yes,
do.
we do. This is that's actually a part of our preparedness kit. We ask them to get an insurance checkup. You know, to make sure to...
When you say a checkup, you give them a checklist?
We don't give them a checklist, but, you know, we advise them to go and check to make sure that their policy is up to date. You know, make sure to check to see what it covers.
Right,
you know,
right.
If you have to ensure that it covers at least, you know, hurricanes or whatever, if you're in the hurricane season or whatever the case may be. Well, that's what the insurance checkup is for. You have to make sure it's up to date.
Before you came, before you came, Thompson, we were talking about many people do not know the difference between the. We don't have much time. We did not know the difference between the life insurance contract, the tenure, and that, we have only 5 more minutes, and the non-life, that the non-life is 1 year.
Yeah.
And then to speak to that, what does that mean in terms of people education? Your property is 1 year.
Property and vehicle insurance is 1
So
year.
talk to
And
that.
so you have to renew that every year. Unlike life insurance that is considered long-term, when you buy a policy of insurance, life insurance, while you have to make your payment, whether monthly, quarterly, annually, that policy is not a renewable policy.
That's correct. That's correct.
If the policy has a fixed term, like say a level term policy for 20 years, when that 20 years is ended, that policy is done. And then you'll have to buy an entirely new policy. It's not a renewable policy, unlike house insurance and car insurance that are renewable annually.
Because the only thing that we were saying that before you came, that one thing that pressures the house owner to do that, because if your property is financed, the financier always try to protect their interests by getting 2 insurance from you. They get, apart from getting your salary assignment, they get your life.
Absolutely.
And the life insurance coverage must be such that it is either equivalent or above, that of the loan,
of the asset,
of
that
mortgage.
you, yes.
Now, if you have a mortgage and you yourself not pay the insurance, that's good. Let me ask you that question, Mr. Thompson. We have just 4 minutes left. If you have, I or Bradshaw have an insurance, but we don't pay the life insurance or the property insurance, what happens? What does the financier do? Or what is the financier obligated to do?
Well, the financier's primary obligation is to ensure
because the insurance is assigned to them.
Yes, is to ensure that their investment is protected. So I would want to think that their responsibility now is to pay the premium to make sure that the coverage exists. Outside of that, and pass that on.
Well,
yes.
I know that. I know some banks do that. They pay the insurance. Some of them even pay the property tax.
Yes.
They pay the property tax. So you have to be careful sometimes. That's why when you go to the bank, you go to the bank sometimes. And I'm saying that to the people in the listenership. Sometimes you go to the bank and then you say, that's not what I have. I'm supposed to have paid you so much more on the principal, under this, under that. And then the people ask you, when was the last time you paid the property tax? You say, I never paid that. But when you check at IRD, it was paid. Which means that the financier paid it and added that
to the mortgage.
And other costs to the same thing. So in other words, when you neglect to pay your insurance, your property tax...
You're not doing yourself any favors.
Actually, what you are doing is you are increasing your indebtedness to the bank, the credit union, or the financier. Am I correct?
Because it dependent upon how the bank handles that.
Yes.
What might be a 1-year premium might very well now expand to a 20-year mortgage. And you could only imagine the kind of indebtedness that could result for you.
Now, we might have to do it again. We have only 1 more minute left. So let me say it this way. Nima Bradshaw, you're going to give us a closing statement. But because Mr. Thompson came last, we're going to give you the opportunity to end it and whatever. Tell them where... Tell them where to find you, whatever. So, Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes, for me, I just want to encourage the public to stay abreast of whatever advisories that is given from the National Emergency Management Agency. You could always visit us, follow us on the different social media platforms, at NEMA, SKN. Just search for that and you'll find us. And to always prepare for the event of, you don't want to get caught with your pants down and not have the things in place to basically respond effectively. So keep your emergency kits at home, keep your disaster plans updated, and keep those in a place where our persons at home can basically access them. So just keep abreast of whatever is going on with the weather conditions, so that you can protect yourself as much as you would want us to protect you as well.
And if they have any problem, feel free to...
Yeah, if you have any problems, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to NEMA at...
Give them the number.
466-5100. That's 869-466-5100. And the email address is nema@gov.kn. So you can just call or WhatsApp 466-5100, or you could send us an email, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Mr. Thompson, I'm giving you the privilege to give the closing remark.
Thank you again, Peter, for having me on your program. I look forward to the opportunity to come back and to share some more on this subject that is of absolute necessity. What I want to say to the listening public is that insurance is, in fact, a necessity. Many people are not insurance savvy, not very familiar with all of what insurance involves, but you have at your disposal insurance brokers who will represent you in ensuring that not only do we manage your insurance portfolio, but everything that has to do with your insurance interests. So not only will we find you a package that is fit for consumption, but whenever there is a happening, that is where we thrive, we will work with you to ensure that we put all of the requisite information together to present to your insurance company, and we'll negotiate with the insurance company the best settlement that you can have in respect of your claim. Part of our responsibility as well is risk mitigation. So even before a claim occurs, when you approach us, we will examine your insurance policy, We will examine the risk that is to be insured, and we will provide you with unbiased advice as to the way forward regarding your insurance interest. You can find us at number 41, Bayview Housing and Commercial Development. Our contact information, 465-9466 or 662-2845.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have been talking about insurance preparedness with NEMA and Oasis Prime Insurance Brokers. We are very happy. We hope that you have learned much and you are more educated and you are more prepared to handle the season that we are in. We learned from them that we are in a high-risk region. Next week is cricket in St. Kitts. The Windies and the Aussies will do battle at Warner Park on Friday 25th, Saturday 26th, and Monday 28th. So next week, Monday, we talk cricket with experts on cricket, with legends on cricket, with those people who know, some of them are walking encyclopedias on issues. So next week, join us on Issues to Talk Cricket. 1:30 p.m., same place. Remember, Freedom FM 106.5, world-class radio at its best. Thank you guys for coming. It was a joy. It's a pity it is so short. I hope we can do it again. I hope we can do it again, and maybe have more time to go into the other things Now, guys, we thank you for those in our listeners, and we ask you to go now and prepare yourself and secure your investment. So till Monday, this is Coach Adrian saying bye-bye.
Freedom FM.